Hi everyone, today we are doing a very simple, we're going to put a thin layer of acrylic over our fingernails, basically to strengthen the nails so that they'll grow on their own. And we're going to do it a little different because we have the odorless monomer that we're going to be using with it. This is the Nail Basics brand, and it is acrylic liquid, and as you can see it says odorless on the top. So we're going to be using this one, so follow along because the technique is just a little bit different when you're using the odorless. So let's get started. So step one is the cuticle. So it's important that we use the cuticle remover and make sure the cuticles are pushed back, otherwise the acrylic could lift in the back. Okay, let me see.
Set for a second. Open our cuticle pusher.
So we're going to push the cuticles back with the cuticle pusher now that the cuticle softener has been put on. She's going to go ahead and put just a little bit more. Hope we're in frame.
Yeah, we are. Perfect. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and just gently push the cuticles back. That's what I need. I need a light. I forgot. I'll pause it in a second and we'll come back. So yeah, as you can see, all of that cuticle is kind of coming out, and I'm just going to gently scrape that off with the other end of the cuticle pusher. You also might need to nip it off using your cuticle nippers, but I'm not going to nip hers today because her cuticles are pretty good. Okay, had to get a little more light for you guys. Okay, and then little pieces like this you can nip off if you'd like, or you can just leave it. It's up to you. So a little more cuticle remover and gently. Let me know if I'm hurting you. Gently push back those cuticles and then scrape your remaining cuticle.
So go ahead and finish doing the cuticles, and then we'll come right back with the next step.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so now we got all the cuticles done. So step 2, we are going to file the top of the nail.
Yes. And also we're going to do some shaping on the free edge of the nail. So at this point you're going to want to do all your filing, because when it comes to an acrylic overlay, it's your natural nails that are really the base for this acrylic. So you're going to want to file the top of your nail and your free edge. So I'm going to do that now.
Do that to make it rough so that the acrylic will stick.
Do you want all your nails the same length, or do you want to keep them all the length that they are?
We'll keep them.
Okay, to try and grow them out.
This one's we can make a little shorter.
Okay, and you want them square or round?
Usually I do, like oval,
Like those ones?
like a square round.
Like this? Or kind of like this? Do you want them like my mom's or no?
Mm-mm.
No? Or like
Yeah.
this?
I'll do one for
Okay.
you, and then you'll see, because I don't remember what to call it. I want to say it's oval, but not so drastic. And
Yeah.
it's like a square round, but a little more round.
Kind of like this hand, or?
Yeah, I haven't really done any filing to them lately, so it's hard to say, I don't know what to call it. I'm thinking probably pretty much a square round.
Okay.
Just really rounded on the edge.
Okay.
I don't like them sharp on the edge.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think a square round is probably what we're looking at.
Okay, like that.
Mhm.
Gotcha. And you want to make sure to gently get back in that cuticle area again and on the sides.
Okay, so we're going to do that to all of the nails. So if you're following along with us with the steps, then go ahead and get yours all shaped and filed on top, which in nail school we called that scratching the nail, but you just want to make sure that the nail is white on the top. So if you have any showing that is not white, then you want to make sure you filed it enough to make it white. Just make sure you don't over file, because you don't want to thin the nail out too much either.
Yes, and keep in mind you can also use your sanding band and mandrel bit to do this, but we're just using a hand
We're
file
doing
today.
this assuming that you only have the basics and that you don't have all of those tools. We'll do another video where we use our tools. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to dust off all the nails, and we're going to go ahead and apply the primer. So we're using the Young Nails Protein Bond today, and we're just going to apply this to all the fingers, like so, the whole nail. Being sure to cover the cuticle area and everything. So yeah, we're going to do all 10 of these fingers with the primer, and we'll be right back.
Okay, so now it's time to do our powder and our monomer.
Yes, so you're going to take your dampen dish and your acrylic liquid. You can use odorless or regular, but today we're going to teach you how to use the odorless. So you're just going to put a little bit in your dampen dish, like so. Then we're going to take our brush. So different size brushes are for your skill level. Personally, I use a 10 to 12. Today I'm using a 12 because we will be
There are no active battleships, so it would have to be a cruiser or a destroyer.
So I'm just opening a new acrylic brush, and normally I'd dip this in a little bit of water first and then take out the starch, but I just dipped it in the odorless and then took out the starch. So just flick out all the starch that is in that brush, and then you're going to go into your monomer and make sure everything's nice and good. So I'm using a 12 because I am a little more used to a 10 to 12 size brush. If you are a beginner and you need to do 3-bead method, for this type of acrylic, I would recommend like an 8 brush, because you are going to want to do like smaller beads. But with a bigger brush, you can do bigger beads, and that means you'll need less beads. So today I'm probably going to use 1 to 2 beads for this set. But if you are a beginner, I recommend an 8 brush using the 3-bead method. So yeah, we're going to take our acrylic now. We're using the Mia Secret Clear Acrylic. And I have my odorless monomer here. And I think I'm going to start with your thumb. So we're going to take the acrylic brush, get it all soaked in the liquid.
I'm going to use less liquid and when you're using odorless.
Okay.
Whenever you're using odorless, you want to make sure you use less liquid because it does not dry.
So I'm going to pick up a bead and just relax your hand. And I'm going to put it close to the cuticle area, not up right up on it, and I'm going to push it back into the cuticle. And then I'm just going to swipe it down. And keep wiping your brush. And then I'm going to take a little bit to clean up the sides.
So you didn't read the phone number. You knew it.
Anything familiar?
I'm just going to pat. Pat and push your acrylic into place. And make sure there's none on your sides. Also look at your side view, make sure your apex is doing okay. And I think I'm just going to use 1 bead. I would recommend if you're using an 8 brush to probably do 2 beads because 8 brushes give you a really tiny bead. Since I'm using a 12, I think for a light layer, 1 bead is perfect. So we're going to go to the next nail. Do the same thing.
Yes. She just remembered the man who attacked her.
Okay. She give you a name?
No, he's Caucasian, bald, late 40s, and when he attacked her, he was wearing a blue blazer.
Blue shirt? Burgundy tie with a blue stripe?
Hope you all can see this right now.
Found him?
So you just want to work very carefully with the odorless, and now we're going to do this to all the rest of the nails. I do want to give you a quick example of a long nail because the last two we did were pretty short. So a long nail is a little bit different because you might need another bead or a bigger bead. So I'm going to...
Of course, it's a pinky, so.
Oh, true. But on a long thumb, I might come back and show you guys the
There's a long
other
thumb
thumb.
here if you want to show them on this one.
Okay, let me just finish this one.
The deal you make on your phone, the deal you pay.
Get the real deal at China.com.
What does it feel like to be a king?
So yeah, we're going to show you this thumb. I put primer on all of them right here. So you might need 2 beads on the thumb. So you're going to want to take your first bead, place it next to the cuticle, like so, and blend it into the rest of your nail. And you want to have a good light when working with clear because it can be kind of hard. I recommend maybe trying out working with a color first so you can see it a little better, and then do it. So as you might be able to see, there's not really any acrylic here on the free edge, so we're going to do a smaller bead. And put that on the free edge, like so. And we're just going to swipe it up into the rest of the nail like that. And make sure your side angle is all nice and even. And just pat that into the free edge. So you want to make sure that you get your free edge, because if you don't, it will just snap off if the nail ends up breaking or whatever. So make sure to give your free edge a little bit of love. Okay, so now we're going to do the rest of the nails and we'll be back.
Here we go. Now it's recording. Okay, so the nails are still wet, and so we did a thing where you go like this, and you can tell that that is still wet just by the feel of it.
So you can take your brush and you can kind of feel that this one is still sort of soft.
And you can do the same thing with your file. But if you go to this one, you're going to find that it feels different. You can tell that it's hard. Can you tell, Mary?
Yes, yes.
So what you're going to do now is you're going to file this top layer off. It's almost like if you're using gel polish, but you're not using the top coat, and you get that coating over it. It's kind of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Only you have to file it off. So that's going to be part of your process when you're doing the filing, is to make sure that you get that top layer off.
Yeah.
But it comes off fairly easy. But you want to make sure it's completely off before you put any polish or anything on it.
Yes, and you would do this with regular acrylic anyway, so it's not really much of an extra step. You would want to.
You just want to make sure that you get
all
that
of the
completely,
coating off, yes.
all of the coating. There you go. The top. I want to say top layer, but it is more like a coating, and you can kind of see it as you're
filing. Yeah, I don't know
filing.
if you guys can kind of see.
Yeah, because
sort
like
of
right
like
there.
this.
That's real obvious right there. Yeah. Now, the Nail Basics is one of my favorite because it isn't as hard to work with as some of the other odorless monomers. So, and it's also quite inexpensive.
Suzanne.
Yeah, so this is Nail Basics acrylic liquid.
And they have both odorless, so you want to make sure that yours has the odorless seal right there on the top.
So you're just going to do that to every single nail, but you want to make sure that they are all dry first. So let's see if this one is dry.
Okay, because I think we did this one, and this one, and then we did the thumb, or
This one
these
feels
two.
like-
These two we did after you did the thumb, I think here. So I think you did 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah. So
So-
the thumb, yeah. It feels dry. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I know when I'm using regular acrylic, I'll do one hand and then file it and everything. But when you're using odorless, you have to do both hands because the first hand isn't going to be dry. You know, so you can't do like one hand at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can see that layer coming off. I mean, it's... When I first did odorless, I went, what is that? And this is a good odorless one. There are some, like there's one you buy at Sally's. It's actually like the kit that they used to use when you did the exams. And that, I don't like that one at all. I think it was Kiss. The Kiss brand of odorless. I didn't like that at all. That was really, really hard to work with. Or this one is quite a bit easier. So sometimes it's just a matter of finding the right brand. So I don't know if you heard me when I was talking to her because I can't remember if we had it on or off at the time. But I was explaining to her the difference between regular acrylic and odorless acrylic.
Yeah.
So your regular acrylic is water-based. And because water evaporates, when it evaporates into the air, that's where you get that awful odor that people hate in nail salons. It's because the monomer is water-based and water will evaporate. And when it evaporates into the air, you're smelling all the chemicals and everything.
Yeah.
Now, odorless acrylic is oil-based, okay? So oil doesn't evaporate. So I think you did this one. You did these two and that one and then this one.
This one like feels wet. Like
Does it?
Yeah, with my finger, I can feel it.
Yeah.
You know, this one.
Okay. So
This one's more dry.
since the odorless is oil-based and oil does not evaporate, then it doesn't evaporate into the air, hence odorless. You don't get that smell. But on the other side, it doesn't dry either because oil doesn't evaporate. So you have to really let it set for a while for it to dry, enough for you to file off that top layer. Once you file that top layer off, you don't even know a difference. It's acrylic.
Yeah.
But it does take quite a long time to dry, and you want to make sure you don't mess with it before it dry, before it's dry. Now, you can do a couple things. One is you can soak the hand in cold water if your client can handle that, or if you're doing your own nails, if you can handle that, you can soak it in cold water. You probably have to soak it in the cold water the whole time you're working on the other hands. I don't know if you could do it on yourself, but that's one way to do it. Some people will use the UV light to dry. I personally don't like to use the UV light to dry it, but that can be done as well. I prefer to just wait.
I didn't cut you, but I did file your skin.
So anyway, that's the difference between your acrylic and your two acrylics, and that's why the odorless monomer doesn't smell, because it's oil-based and oil does not evaporate. And once you get used to working with odorless acrylic, it's hard to go back to regular acrylic.
Yeah. Vice versa. If you've already worked with regular acrylic, it is a learning kind of experience to learn how to use the odorless.
The odorless, yeah. Now here in California, we used to have practical, when we did our exams, when I did my nail exam to get my license, you had a physical test, a question answer test you had to pass, and then you also had practical, and you had to do an acrylic nail with odorless. So that's how I learned and realized that I liked it better. Now, of course, in California, all you have to do is pass the question and answers. You don't have to do the practical anymore. So because of that, a lot of your nail tests do not have the practice using the odorless acrylic.
I didn't know that you didn't have to do the practical anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to do it. All you have to do is the question and answer now. It's been that way for about 2-3 years. Of course,
That kind of sucks for me.
Yeah.
You know,
but
because,
when I did it, I had to do the practical.
yeah,
And that's where most people fail, is the practical.
that's interesting.
To help protect from HIV, I practice without pills. We advocate a prescription medicine used to reduce the risk of HIV without taking practice.
So a nail license is basically just a couple weeks of school and a test.
It's 400 hours of school.
Okay. So that would take like a couple months?
Well, yeah, I think that when I went, they did like 25, I think it was 25 hours a week. So, it took quite a while, but I did extra because I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
So like say you did 40 hours a week, you would have your 410 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's not just logging 400. There are so many hours of this type of thing and so many hours of that type of thing.
Oh, okay. So you can do it at home?
No, you have to do it through an accredited school, an approved school.
I mean, can you do some of your hours at home?
No.
No, you have to do it.
You
all.
have to do it with a teacher present.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I think I got the layer off of these.
I know that there are some states where you can do online, but did you do the thumb? I don't remember.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now here.
Sorry, I like to organize everything.
Okay, so now that we've done that on one hand, we're going to go ahead and do the other hand, and we'll be right back when we're done with that.
I was going to just really quickly cap the cuticle
So we got them all filed. So we need to cap the cuticle
We're
real
going to
quick.
use the drill. Now, if you don't have a e-file, you can use this curved part of the file to sort of go into the cuticle like this, being very careful, and you can also use the edge to get the cuticle. But if you do have an e-file, a lot of this filing we have been doing can be done with the e-file. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this barrel bit and we're going to put it in our file, and we're going to put it up to not very high, maybe
What number did you put it on?
I put it on about 3,000 RPMs.
Okay.
And we're just going to take it and go all.
This will help prevent lifting by making sure that it's a little thinner and smoother by the cuticle.
Yes. So you want to make sure that anytime you are doing acrylic that you cap in your cuticle area, because though we did apply the acrylic really well, there can be some little parts that might have an opening for water to get in or things like that, and you wouldn't want water to get in your nails because that can cause fungus. So you're going to make sure to just go around the whole cuticle area like so. Make it really nice and smooth. And then also, if you had some trouble on the corners with some of that sticky layer, this is where you can use your drill to maybe make sure that your corners don't have any of that layer on it. And we're just going to do this to every single nail, just real quick. You don't have to go too extensive. Just make sure it is nice and smooth back there, and that there's no bumps or anything. So we're going to do this to every single finger, and as you can tell, it feels just like regular acrylic. Literally no difference from what regular acrylic would feel like now that we've taken off that sticky layer.
I'm so excited I got to teach you how to use the odorless.
Yeah. It was good to learn.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
I think you did a great job.
Thanks. So now that we have that all done, we're going to go ahead and buff.
We have this little buffer that we use.
So we're going to put our mandrel up, turn it up, and we're just going to buff each nail.
So you want it to be smooth, so when you go to put your polish on, you'll apply nice and smoothly without a bunch of bumps. Just a few more minutes, baby.
Oops. So really the biggest difference with odorless is just the feel of it with applying the acrylic, and then also the sticky layer that it has after it is already applied. So other than that, it's pretty much feels the same as regular acrylic, which is nice because you don't have that smell, but you have the same result. Okay, so we already shaped, so I think the shape is pretty much okay. But you can shape at this point if you want to do some reshaping. And then the last thing I normally do is just wipe it off with some. Do you have any lint-free wipes or no? I'll just use one of these. It's fine. Last thing I like to do is wipe it off with some alcohol to get all that dust off. You can also wash the hands, but alcohol works just the same. And we have a trusty dusty spray bottle here, so put your hands out like that. So I just spray it. And you can also use a scrub brush to apply it to kind of get in the cuticle area, but we're just gonna spray to make sure all that dust came off. And then there you have it. You're
all done, and all you have to do is pick your polish, and there we go.
Yep, there's your nice clear layer of acrylic. It looks beautiful. And there you have it. Hope this video helped you all.
And we will see you the next one. I will be doing some nail design. So
Yes.
I'll show you, as I can't get my finger here to show you.
Yeah, so go
But-
check that video out. We will show you how you can decorate these, and yeah.
Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know every time we upload a new video. And please like this video, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.